Hello guys, welcome to another video. In this video we would be seeing on different ways we can handle JSON type data in DuckDB. If you see, I have three different files. One is data copy.json, which is like this, where it has a column ID, name, family names of type list and date of birth, and it's a list of JSON objects. And similarly, I have another column cat JSON along. It is same as above, but it has another extra field called address of type struct. So let's see how we can handle all these kind of files in DuckDB. So I'm just opening the DuckDB. That's it. To read a JSON file in DuckDB, you can just do select star from the file .json extension is there. So it inherits it as a type JSON, and we have read it separately. So if you see, the output has read is separate columns. This is of list of varchar and this is of type struct. That's it. And in case if you want to explicitly pass the schema, you can pass it. So if you see, same, we have a method like how we have for the CSV file. Here we have a method named read JSON, pass the path. The format is of array. The why we have passed the format as arrow is because it has multiple rows of array type. If you see the JSON file, if it is of array type, it has multiple JSON objects in it, and I'm just passing the schema and how it has to inherit. So the ID of type int, name, varchar, family of list, and date of birth. So this is how it has read it, and you can just create a table out of the data as well directly. Create table JSON data as select star from the JSON file. That's it. And when we query the table, we got the data. Now, if you see here, I am just creating another table JSON data 2 with only one column as type JSON, and we can directly insert the full JSON file in it. If you see, we can just insert the data in it directly. So this is another way in case if you want to insert the JSON type data into a DuckDB table of type JSON. And next, as I have single column named column inside which I have the data, right? So I can just extract the specific field I want. Call.street, call.city, call.state, call.zip, like that. So I just did call.family and I got this complete list. And in case if you want to convert a map to a JSON, you can just do toJSON. It will convert this map type to a JSON or a dict type to a JSON. In case if you have this map like this, and if you want to convert it to JSON, you can even do that using toJSON. And in case if you want to convert few elements into a JSON array, you can use JSON array. You can use JSON array of and pass the elements, and it will be converted into an array. In case if you want to read, we have another method called read JSON objects, where we can read the complete JSON into a single column. If you see here, it has read this into a single column, but we can extract it as well. If you see JSON.id, JSON.family names, I have extracted, but above it has read into multiple columns when we used something like this, or when we used read JSON, it has read into multiple columns. Here it read into a single column. Now if you see, I've just created a table called JSON tab. It has columns as ID int, name varchar, family names of list of varchars. So I just created an empty table, and I'm reading this data copy.json, inside which I have only these particular columns, and I'm just using the copy command. I'm just loading into the table, copy to JSON tab table from this table, and it should be format JSON and array is true, and we have to give array true because it has multiple JSON objects, not just one. If it has only one row in our file, then we don't need to give, but it has a multiple JSON objects, so we have to give as array as true. That's it. Now if you see, I have created another table called address table 2, and inside which I have given the same columns. Along with this array type column, I have also declared the struct type column with the name address, struct of street varchar, city varchar, and everything is a varchar here. And I'm just copying into that table as well. If you see, we got the data. Here I just added one extra column called address of type struct, and we can directly extend address.struct, comma family names. So we can directly read from the table. So if in case if you want to check the JSON is valid or not, you can even check by passing a string here, JSON valid, it return 2. And in case if you want to know the length of your array fields, we have a method called JSON array length. Pass the column name, it will return the length of the fields. And in case if you want to know the structure of a specific struct type in your JSON, you can just pass it. So select JSON structure of address. I want to know the structure of this address, so it returned everything is a varchar here. That's it. you can pass any other column, not just a struct type. You can pass any other column. If you say I passed a family names, it is a list of varchar, so it returned this. And in case if you want to change the data type of a specific element in your JSON, you can even do that. If you see, I've just taken everything, copied everything here, but for the last type I've just converted into int. That's it. So we have a method called JSON transform which does that. So JSON transform, the column name you want to transform and the structure you want. The last element should be of type integer. So it has returned an integer. That's it. In case if you want to read a JSON, we can directly read it using read JSON. If not, in case if a JSON has something like this, where in case if a JSON like this, where it has multiple JSON objects, like each row is a separate JSON, each row is a separate JSON, each row is a separate JSON, something like this, then you can use format equal to unstructured also. But even without this also it works. It's not mandatory. You can directly use the read JSON of the path. That's it. And in case if you want each column separately when reading the JSON, you can just pass records equal to true, which is the default value. In case if you pass records equal to false, everything will be treated as a single column only. That's it. That's it. These are the high levels things which we can do with the JSON in DuckDB. Thank you so much for watching.